Welcome to UK Briefing. The content of the briefing includes: pest control firms use spaniels to sniff out bedbugs in hotels and homes. Why is Brexit causing problems for electric cars in Britain? Yousaf urges SNP to unite behind new Westminster election independence strategy. Case study: how sharing risks can save lives. Why Britain could have the solution to Europe's beer crisis. Pest control firms use spaniels to sniff out bedbugs in hotels and homes. Telegraph. Rentokil, the UK's largest pest control company, has launched a bedbug dog detect service to help companies identify infestations of bedbugs. The service uses trained dogs, including spaniels, beagles, labradors, and German shepherds, to sniff out the presence of the insects. The dogs are presented with filter paper that has been used to soak up the scent and chemicals from a room. If bedbugs are present, the dogs will alert their trainers. Rentokil claims that the service is 4 times more effective than a human searching for signs of bedbug infestation. Why is Brexit causing problems for electric cars in Britain? The Independent. Car industry bosses are warning that the UK's car manufacturing plants face an existential threat if a new Brexit deal on electric car tariffs is not reached. The implementation of new EU trade rules next year could add £6,000 to the price of a new vehicle. Yousaf urges SNP to unite behind new Westminster election independence strategy. The Independent. The leader of the Scottish National Party, SNP, Humza Yousaf, has asked his party to support his new independence strategy. Yousaf's plan involves using the upcoming Westminster election to make independence the central issue. The move comes after a difficult 6 months for the SNP, during which support has fallen in the polls following the resignation of Nicola Sturgeon, while the party is also being investigated by the police over its finances. Yousaf said that unity of purpose could be the SNP's greatest strength. The party's members backed a motion calling for negotiations with Westminster to begin immediately if the SNP wins a majority of seats in Scotland at the next general election. Case study: how sharing risks can save lives. Financial Times. MedAccess, a social enterprise that supports access to life-saving health innovations in low and middle-income countries, has successfully used volume guarantees to improve access to products such as contraceptive implants and vaccines. Volume guarantees involve providing manufacturers with assured minimum order volumes in exchange for better pricing and guaranteed supply. MedAccess has used this approach to expand access to mosquito nets and malaria vaccines. The organization is now expanding into new therapeutic areas, but faces challenges in assessing and mitigating the risks associated with volume guarantees. Why Britain could have the solution to Europe's beer crisis. Telegraph. Climate change is causing a decline in the quantity and quality of European hops, affecting the flavor and price of beer, according to a study published in Nature.com. Hotter temperatures have shifted the ripening period for noble hop varieties, resulting in a decrease in alpha acids, which give beer its characteristic bitterness. European hop levels are predicted to decline by up to a fifth by 2050. However, there are signs that British hops, grown in ideal maritime conditions, could prevent the crisis as selective breeding produces drought-tolerant varieties. Man United sale, Sheikh Jassim out, Ratcliffe bid set for vote. Yahoo! Qatari Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani has withdrawn his offer for Manchester United, leaving British billionaire Jim Ratcliffe clear to be accepted for a minority stake. The Sheikh had offered to pay £5 billion, $6.05 billion, for 100% of the club. Ratcliffe is expected to invest more than $1.5 billion for a stake of up to 25%. The deal would leave the Glazer family in charge of United, but Ratcliffe would have control over the sporting side of the club. A vote on Ratcliffe's bid is expected this week. The review was launched partly due to the club's need to renovate or replace its stadium. Sheikh Jassim withdraws bid to buy Manchester United from Glazers. Al Jazeera. Qatari businessman Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani has withdrawn his bid to buy Manchester United Football Club from the Glazer family. Discussions between Al Thani and the American owners failed to reach an agreement on the valuation of the club. Al Thani had offered to pay nearly double the current valuation of the club and provide an additional investment of over $1.7 billion. Meanwhile, British billionaire Sir Jim Ratcliffe, founder and chairman of INEOS, has revised his bid to purchase 25% of the club, potentially leaving the Glazers with a minority stake. Klarna accused of debanking unethical shooting retailers. Telegraph. By now, pay later provider Klarna has cancelled partnerships with a number of shooting and countryside sport retailers, declaring them unethical. Klarna claimed that firearms were weapons even if used for sporting purposes and that selling such products violated the company's ethical policies. The Countryside Alliance has demanded that Klarna familiarise itself with UK firearms law and reverse its decision. Figures from the British Association for Shooting and Conservation indicate that 59% of trade members have experienced difficulties obtaining credit. Northern Ireland political stability important for investors, U.S. Ambassador. The Independent. U.S. Ambassador to the UK, Jane Hartley, has said that political stability in Northern Ireland is important for American businesses looking to invest in the region. She encouraged DUP leader Sir Geoffrey Donaldson to continue negotiations over the trade border impasse to restore the power-sharing institutions at Stormont. The UK and EU agreed the Windsor Framework earlier this year to address unionist concerns about the protocol, but the DUP has indicated it will not return to the Stormont Assembly until further assurances are provided about Northern Ireland's place in the UK internal market. Net migration to remain above pre-Brexit levels without policy change. Telegraph. Net migration to the UK is expected to remain above pre-Brexit levels for the rest of the decade unless government policies are changed, according to modelling by Oxford University. The university's Migration Observatory found that net migration will not drop below 250,000 to 350,000 annually by the end of the decade, even though it will fall from its peak of 606,000 in 2020. The researchers warned that demand for foreign workers and the decision of more overseas students to remain in the UK following their studies could increase the increase in net migration. Hello, everyone. It's your friendly neighborhood Six Doctor here, bringing you the latest news from the six-dimensional world. I hope you're all ready for some intriguing and entertaining stories today. So, let's jump right in. First up, we have some furry heroes in the form of spaniels, beagles, labradors, and German shepherds. Pest control company Rentokil has launched a bedbug dog detect service, using these clever canines to sniff out pesky bedbugs in hotels and homes. It seems that man's best friend is also a great exterminator. Who knew? Next, we have the Brexit conundrum. Electric car manufacturers in the UK are facing an existential threat if a new Brexit deal on electric car tariffs is not reached. This could potentially add a hefty £6,000 to the price of a new vehicle. So, it seems Brexit is not only causing political headaches but also giving electric cars a shock. Moving on to politics, the leader of the Scottish National Party, SNP, Humza Yousaf, is urging his party to unite behind a new independence strategy. Yousaf plans to make independence the central issue in the upcoming Westminster election. It's all about unity, folks. Let's hope they can find their strength and navigate the choppy waters of Scottish politics. Now, let's talk about saving lives. MedAccess, a social enterprise, has found an innovative way to improve access to life-saving health innovations in low and middle-income countries. They're using volume guarantees to make sure manufacturers provide better pricing and guaranteed supply. It's all about sharing risks and saving lives. Kudos to MedAccess. Ah, beer, the elixir of life. Climate change is wreaking havoc on European hops, affecting the flavor and price of our beloved beverage. But fear not, my friends. British hops, grown in ideal maritime conditions, might just save the day. Selective breeding could produce drought-tolerant varieties, preventing a beer crisis. Cheers to that. Now, let's talk football. Manchester United is in the spotlight once again, with Qatari Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani withdrawing his bid to buy the club from the Glazer family. But fear not, British billionaire Jim Ratcliffe is waiting in the wings, ready to invest over $1.5 billion for a minority stake. It's all about the beautiful game, my friends. In other news, by now, pay later provider Klarna has found itself in hot water after cancelling partnerships with shooting and countryside sport retailers. They claim that firearms violate their ethical policies. The Countryside Alliance is not pleased and demands a reversal. Looks like Klarna shot themselves in the foot with this decision. And finally, political stability in Northern Ireland is deemed important for American businesses looking to invest in the region. U.S. Ambassador to the UK, Jane Hartley, has encouraged negotiations to continue to restore power-sharing institutions. Let's hope they can find a solution and keep those business opportunities flowing. That's all the news for today, my wonderful audience. Now, I turn to you. What are your thoughts on these stories? Do you have any questions or insights? I'm here to entertain, inform, and engage with all of you. So, let the discussion begin. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.